This video tutorial is going to show how to create a vanity tray in our brand new Eco Resin border tray mold. For this, I'm going to be using Holo Dream Flakes and Shattered Rainbow from Glitter Hippo, crushed glass and vintage silver from Michaels, Abyss metallic chunky mix glitter from the Glitter Guy, Twinkling Neptune mica from Funshine Color Shops, two other colors of blue mica, and then I'm adding in some Hi-Ho silver mica from Funshine Color Shop as well. I'm starting off just pouring some mica out of a little spoon. There's just a randomness to the pattern here. I tried these on the two other oval trays, and this is our brand new mold. We actually made this mold as a prototype to see if it would work. We didn't do a glossy surface on it, and we are going to do a glossy surface one, but this one is a totally matte textured surface right there where I'm pouring the mica and on the edges. I did use a paintbrush here to kind of smooth out the mica. I don't know if I like that so much in the finished piece. It looks okay, but I probably would not do that again in the future. It's best for this kind of pattern to just have randomness. As you see there, I'm taking the vintage silver crushed glass and just pouring it out. And there's the Abyss, which is a dark blue holographic glitter. Or it's a chunky mix glitter. I don't think it's really holographic. But you're just trying to give the top of the piece some texture. When I originally did this in the oval molds, I put glass in there and they made too big of pockets. When you have a little pocketing of the glitter or the mica powders, it does create natural holes in the piece, which look kind of cool. And there I am painting that mica again. Not quite sure where I was going with this, and adding more glitter on the sides. What I do love about this mold, we have 4 of these coming out. We're creating this border around it. You'll see once I demold this from the Eco Resin, it creates a border where you could either put glitter or mica, or in this case, I use glass, which frames the center of the piece, which gives it a lot more interest than just having a flat 2-dimensional piece. There's some of the Hi-Ho silver mica that I'm putting just in the open space areas, because I didn't want it all filled, but I did want different colors and different textures going on. For this, I'm going to be using ResinCrete, which is an Eco Resin gypsum based, and I'm going to be adding some blue dye to it as well. Once I get finished adding all the glitter, there it is. I only mixed up 200 grams of powder to 60 grams of water, and it was a little short for this mold. I think you probably have to go to about 250. I have subsequent pours that I did where I did go up higher, like to the 250 or 260 range. And there I just took 5 drops of water-based pigment, and I'm just swirling it in because I don't want a solid color behind all of that, just a little bit of a hint of a shade. And you'll see what I do when I pour it in here, and then I add more to get a more solid color for the back. But that center area is bordered in by that little frame, so it contains this part of the liquid being poured in. And this holds about, I think in another pour I did, this holds about 100 grams of powder, 30 grams of water. So you could just fill that separately. So now, since I still have some more, I added more blue in to make it a darker color for the sides and the back. If you make that center section too dark, you will not see your glitter or mica powders. It completely obliterates it. And even though there's a little mica there on the bottom, you won't see that because that's part of the frame that you'll see on the front side. So you can be a little messy, and it doesn't matter. And there I'm just going in the edges. And with gypsum-based products like ResinCrete, you should tap the sides to try and hopefully get rid of any air bubbles. See how it was a little short there. It couldn't take much more. Like I said, probably 50 more grams, 60 more grams. But it's fine. These pieces end up being pretty heavy when they're done, like 14 ounces. The finished dishes come out to be about 7.375 inches long by 5.18 inches wide by about 0.35 inches high. So it's a substantial trinket tray, or vanity tray as we call them. And now it's time to demold just half an hour later. Cool patterns there. You see how that glitter is just picking up? And we have that little trough frame area where you can add glitter, mica, glass, resin, anything you want. Here I'm just brushing off some of the excess powder, if there was any, before I add my glass. And I chose to use our peacock blue crushed glass for this because I figured it would go with the blue colors. You don't even have to use this as a tray. You could just display it if you wanted to. And for this, I'm using the DecoArt DuraClear Gloss Varnish. I use this pretty much to set anything because you can just overpour it. It sets the glass or the stones and it doesn't show. It doesn't like cover it completely like resin does. It looks like the glass is just sitting there on its own. So I'm just using a paintbrush to put some on the bottom. And then I'm just scooping in the crushed glass. I've so wanted a mold like this for so long because just like I said, to give it finished interest, the finished piece of interest. Oh my gosh, if I could even talk today. Instead of just having, most trays are only like 0.35 inches deep and you're like, ta-da, here's my tray that's not doing anything, where this creates almost like a little frame around your centerpiece. We are going to be coming up with a glossy version of this, so you could do flower blooms in it or just resin pours, but this one is for Eco Resin only. Everything up there is a matte textured surface. There is no glossy surface on this. And here I'm taking the DuraClear again, the gloss varnish, and just liberally putting it over the top of the glass. I'll speed this up in a second, but I'm just showing you how I do it. You want to just completely cover it. It looks whitish, bluish on top of there, but it will completely dry up and disappear within 24 hours. So like I said, you can just do it liberally. The pipette is a really easy way to do it so you're not drowning it out. And if any glass comes loose, you can just set it again. And because this piece is matte, I can't use there I'm using a DecoColor liquid silver pen. Don't ask me what I was doing here. I thought I was being quite creative. And I'm just drawing in some silver lines on top of that brushed mica. It didn't really need this. Oh, but I was saying, usually I use the lemon wax by Set in Stone to finish these pieces, but because this is not a glossy surface, I'll probably just use an acrylic spray to finish it off on the front and the back. I'm really having fun creating pieces with this mold because there's just so many ways you can finish it off. There's the finished piece. The mold and this finished piece are already available for sale on our website, crystalresinart.com. If you want to create resin art that looks different from everyone else's, this is our Eco Resin Border Tray mold.